Dear Cajon Valley employees and families, I hope this message finds you and your family rested and well following our Thanksgiving break. Let me start by emphasizing that the safety and well-being of our employees and students are our first priority. Safety from COVID-19, and equally important, the physical, psychological, social, and emotional safety and well-being we provide our students through human connection from the hearts and hands of our education professionals and support staff in our schools and in our classrooms. In this community update, I'll be discussing in-person learning for the last 6 months of school, January through June, upcoming town hall style meetings to gather feedback and input, COVID-specific data and protocols, and the immediate challenges our governing board and district leaders are working through right now. I want to let you know just how exceptional the work of our Cajon Valley employees is. You know, in the state of California, roughly 90% of all public school students don't have any access to in-person learning or care. In San Diego Unified, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, and all across the Central Valley, schools have remained closed, and 90% of California students have distance learning as their only option. Of those 90%, over 200,000 students still don't have access to technology or the internet. In terms of the pandemic's impact, I think it's safe to add just about any job title to the phrase, "It's a tough time to be a blank." It's a tough time to be in the restaurant industry. It's a tough time to be a small business owner. Healthcare, travel, leisure, entertainment. And without question, the work of educating students and keeping them on track has never seen more challenging circumstances. So Cajon Valley team members, thank you. Now, in-person learning for the last 6 months of the school year, January through June. Back in August, we asked our parents to commit to either a hybrid or distance learning model for their students until January. Crest and Rios Elementary opened with a 5-day-a-week full return to school option for their families, whereas most schools provided a hybrid of 2 days a week in person and 3 days a week distance learning. On November 16th, we reconvened our elected parent leaders from each school site and our principals to get formal feedback on both models through a Zoom meeting. You can see a recorded video of the meeting and meeting notes by selecting the stakeholder collaboration link on the district COVID information page. In answer to the questions, what's working and what's not working, we learned, generally speaking, that parents were pleased with the improvements to the distance learning model from last year, as their children are receiving so much more synchronous time with their teachers. Parents also shared that learning in person back at school was really good for their kids. The most common "what's not working" response was asynchronous learning time when children had no access to their teacher or friends. Many parents expressed interest in having their students return to school full-time after hearing from the Crest and Rios families. Feedback and recommendations, however, were varied, which leads me to topic 2, upcoming town hall style meetings to gather feedback and input. This past May, with the help of our governing board president, Tamara Otero, we held town hall style meetings with each school community. Those meetings were recorded and posted under the stakeholder collaboration link as well. And as with our meeting a couple weeks ago, we learned that each of our 27 schools has its own unique community and feel. Our school principals will be scheduling town hall style meetings with their teachers to hear from our site-specific parent groups about their experience thus far and what improvements and/or options they'd like to see from January through June. We will also be holding 4 teacher town hall style meetings this week in collaboration with CVEA, the Cajon Valley Education Association, to hear their inputs and also discuss possible next steps and how we're thinking about the remaining 6 months of the school year. These meetings will be recorded and posted on the stakeholder collaboration page as well, replacing the former committee, PAC. We encourage all staff and parents to participate in the meetings as much as possible. The more communication we have, the better our outcomes will be. For those who cannot make the meeting times, we will post the recorded videos and notes as soon as possible to assist with transparency and so that everyone has first-hand information. And now, COVID-specific data and protocols. As is the case across the country and California, San Diego County has experienced a significant increase in positive COVID tests in the month of November. We keep an updated dashboard of current positive test results from each school as well as the percentage of students and staff with positive results in relation to the total number of students and staff working and learning on site. Please visit this page and read our protocols for parent notifications and quarantine procedures. As is also the case across the country, California, and San Diego County, we have not seen instances of COVID spread in our public schools. Interestingly, in a call with San Diego County Public Health this week, we learned that several private schools have experienced outbreaks because they're not requiring masks on all students and because they're less strict on safety protocols. Our safety and social distancing procedures have been effective in preventing spread at school, and we appreciate those who are reporting their positive tests and staying home in quarantine. The most important thing for all of us to consider regarding our protocols is that if there's any concern of possible exposure at a family gathering, sporting activity, or even what may seem benign like a runny nose or cough, please call your school office and stay home. This means the difference between one person having to quarantine versus whole classes of students and their teachers having to stay home for 14 days. There have been a few cases where a symptomatic person came to school and exposed multiple people. According to our safety protocols, all those possibly exposed were ordered to quarantine. And that leads me to immediate challenges our governing board and district leaders are working through right now. The increases in positive tests have resulted in an increase of teachers and staff having to self-quarantine for 14 days at a time. Now, there was already a shortage of substitute teachers before the pandemic, and now we're in competition with all of our neighboring districts for the same pool of available subs. We're in the process of recruiting for both teaching and campus supervisor positions to ensure that we have enough well-trained staff to keep in-person learning going. Our challenge is that we've spent nearly all of our CARES federal stimulus money because we actually spent it on direct service to students. We anticipate Congress passing a second stimulus package, which will include allocations for schools, but without budget certainty, there is some calculated risk in spending dollars before we actually receive them in hand. What may be a greater risk is waiting for the stimulus to come and then having to compete with all other San Diego County school districts simultaneously for the limited crop of new teachers graduating this fall with their credentials. It would be strategic to be the first in line and hire the cream of the crop. I know that was a lot, but you're now up to date with past, present, and future district news. We will rely heavily on our upcoming town hall meetings to determine next steps. Please join, share your voice. And again, parents, staff, thank you so much for everything you do for our children and the community. On behalf of our Cabinet and Governing Board, thank you very much.